You go down, it's just killers. We have what 39 people registered for today's bracket. This is absolutely insane.
And it's just gonna keep the level of intensity high the entire night. Like, it's never gonna go down. It's always gonna be tippity top of the pile here. And let's just hop into this first matchup. We got Abigail versus Zeku. Craziness. Madgear's been kind of hating on the Abigail pick on himself a little bit lately. I don't know if you've seen those tweets, but character does some work.
Yeah, I did see that tweet. It looked as though, I mean, it sounded like he was sort of worried that he was, you know, having some of his accomplishments taken away from him even on the strength of the character. But I mean, Abigail's not the strongest version of him right now, and Madgear's probably been performing the best right now of any that I have seen of him. And what a strong start here. Just shy of the stun. It looked like that crush counter is what kept the EX Abigail punch from connecting, but you've still got complete corner control. Ooh, went for the early release on the V-trigger, expecting that Deznere was going to jump out. Ooh, parry through the small critter and closing out the round.
It's got a name, Brad. I don't know what the name is, but it has it. But here we go. Round 2, Madgear getting beaten up a little bit. Oh, the reset comes through with the Firebird.
See, the problem is, I feel like I've watched, it's actually a little bit weird how much I feel like I've been watching Zeku Abigail lately. Deznere is going to cash out the full CA. I expect that this will kill. Abigail is crazy like, yeah, it's going to kill for a perfect on the round. But what I was going to say is I'm surprised by how much I feel as though I've seen this matchup. And it feels like you really do kind of need to get into young Zeku and get comfortable, you know, fishing for these counter hit setups off like crouch strong. Whenever you see a Zeku stuck in old Zeku in this matchup, it feels like they just, like Abigail doesn't really have to respect Graham all that much.
No, goes for the command grab that time, gets punished for it, but yeah, it's actually kind of crazy that you're talking about this being like a big matchup you're seeing these days, because like, who plays Abigail anymore?
Madgear. That's
Yeah,
the thing. Madgear is performing so well, and we're seeing him in so many things that we're just seeing him loading in against a series of Zekus, loading in that CA now against Deznere. Jesus Christ, that is a lot of damage. Deznere on the back foot has the V-trigger activation. Are we going to see it come out? Wake up jab, slide, activate, but you end up activating on hit, which, you know, maybe not the most ideal thing. We are going to follow up after. V-reversals coming out of Madgear. No resources left on the table, but you're so healthy here. Oh, what a call.
That was super weird. The instant DP coming out of the transformation. Oh, that time, gonna beat out the spin again. Oh, Madgear slipping away. That time it works.
Yeah, this is big. Madgear getting this corner position is big, but I love what Deznere has been bringing to the table. You can see Deznere is using the V skill and then really early loading out. Oh, my man baited after 2 chances where he backed off, used the V skill, and then used an early tool after to challenge Madgear for taking his turn and trying to punish him. Deznere backs off like he's going to do it again, and then immediately cashes out on Madgear, trying to punish him for the V skill earlier. Deznere planted the bait in the trap, and it just closed in on Madgear for that first game.
Yeah, it's early enough that, you know, Madgear hadn't quite adapted to what they were starting to see yet. They tried to make the adjustments, but we're early in tonight. It's still first to 2. This is a top 8 level matchup, and they're going to be finding out very quickly how far they can make it.
Playing it a little bit slower here is Madgear, who has that corner position again, and it feels like this happens so much. Abigail between, oh, the empty jump stuff. This is another thing that you really need to represent against Madgear. Madgear likes to use that V-skill armor as an anti-air tool, but empty jump is the answer to it. EX run, that trade works out very favorably for Abigail.
Yeah, definitely going to be able to take some good damage there. Takes him to about mid-screen, but sets up the charge again. Still going to get him with the sweep, though. Got to watch those toes.
All right, first round of game 2 on the board. As Doc said earlier, this is still only a first to 2 here. So, you know, Deznere definitely does not want to end up going to a game 3 against this. I feel like every time I watch these two play, if Madgear brings it the length of the set, Madgear tends to take it. Oh, what a call. Wow, that Bushin elbow actually ended up whiffing, but because it whiffed, it made him land earlier and allowed the V-skill thing to whiff over him, so Deznere got to take his turn.
Oh, no. What are we watching right now? Just slowly walking down the mid screen. The one button gaming into the command grab did so much damage because of the gray life. That crush counter is going to hurt.
All right, I mean, this is still doable for Madgear, but he woke up with buttons. You know damn well that was wake up button into V-trigger. That was supposed to be VT into something else. He's gonna do the full charge. A nice jump back from Deznere, timed perfectly to deal with that V-trigger option, and we are on set point for Deznere.
That was a lot of really tough timings there for Madgear, right? We saw the trigger activation right as the slide was coming in, so they got crushed and knocked down. That's a great addition to the anti-parry tech coming in, throwing in that air command grab.
Oh, empty jumps again. That time, that jump arc was even a little bit ambiguous. I'm surprised that Zeku was able to clear all the way over Abigail. No anti-airs coming in from that because you're stuck in Young. That's the difficulty, right? Madgear is making that innovation. All right, you're going to play Young. I'm going to go to the air. You're going to have to try to figure out how you're going to deal with my aerial approach. Trigger activation comes out of Madgear.
Jumped a little bit late, got hit by the charge there, but we're back to full screen. And now we've got the old Zeku trying to do that, but it's not going to work out.
What did I say? There's a reason that you tend to see Zekus play this matchup in Young. And especially once that trigger is activated, why is Madgear gonna respect Graham on the ground at all? He didn't, I mean, with the V-skill alone, if you really feel it, if you feel like you've got a read on that tendency, you can still obviously try to, you know, navigate through that unless Zeku's gonna choose to spend an EX. But in that spot, no, that was checkmate. One game apiece.
Round one.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to find yourself in, and we're going to have to see, you know, the adjustments that come through again, right? Do we see a little bit more ult to try and, you know, get back to these anti-air tendencies, or do we try and maybe fish in some of these, you know, Young shoulders to try and anti-air with?
I mean, that's hard, right? You know, because Zeku in Young, you know, there's some horizontal movement to that, so. You know, a lot of these spots, it's not like, unless the jump is coming from like a very steep angle, it's not like you're really going to get to do it. I think you're better off, you know, you might want to fish for air-to-airs, but if you're watching for that, then it's obviously going to slow down your ground game a fair bit. It's all just mental stack.
Oh, that was sick! Goes for the command dash, onto the jump approach, goes for a little bit of plus frames, gets the throw as well. Activation time. I'm trying to jump late again, that's so risky.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily that he's running late, right? So when you activate that, you can vary how long you charge. If you full charge, it becomes a guard break, so it's a mind game. You have to, if you're close enough that you can't reasonably react to when Abigail lets go, you're kind of trying to make a guess. Are they full charging for the guard break, or do I have to jump early because they're expecting me to wait for it?
And I like this from Deznere, just full cash out. Don't hold on to anything at this point. You'll always build back more meter. Plus now you get this crazy life lead that you can work with.
Okay. No option select behind that regular throw, and that was interesting. We were in hold, so you had the ability to try to load an anti-air behind that. We've got EX Abigail punch with the V-trigger in the back. Oh, going for a standing reset. Wow, Deznere, the disrespect. I don't care about your command grab. I got to slide.
Yeah, definitely some risk happening there, but oh.
Oh my God. Oh, Madgear was done after that hit. Let go of the sticks. Figured that was that, and it should have been. It was a little bit strange that Deznere, you know, whiffed the standing short connect there. I imagine Deznere must have just missed the V-trigger dash cancel. Versus Integra looks to be the next match that we're loading in here. Umerogan took, I don't recall if it was 4th or 5th last week. I want to say 4th at the CLG bracket last week. Been sticking with that Luke pretty consistently. Which is a shame. I love the Akuma. It's not like his Luke is bad, but I love the Akuma. It's where I, you know, grew to really appreciate watching Joe Umerogan. Daywalker's really appreciating Joe Umerogan on that Luke right now because he is committing to some heresy, ending up at some negative, punishable frames, and smoked out on that round.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup here, right? Because we've seen Ken quite a lot, especially here at Casa, right? Like we've seen Kens for years now. But Luke's come out. We've been seeing a lot of Luke lately. But people are saying that this last couple of patches were some of the best Ken has looked for a while now. And we still got those raw DPs.
Okay. Oh my God. And this is a similar problem I saw out of Joe Umerogan when I was watching his play last week. Is I feel like with Luke, you really need to be in place to confirm on all of these counter hits. And the fact that we're seeing on occasion these like standing strong counter hits, and Joe Umerogan leaves the damage on the table and isn't ready to follow up after, is a little bit disappointing. Does find the V-trigger follow up off of that with punish with the standing medium kick to even up the round count.
Still got advantage with these advancing normals. And we're gonna keep pressing forward. Spends a little bit of cash. I like it. Gets us back to mid-screen though. Doesn't get us too far away. And we're seeing Joe Umerogan be completely willing to just kind of give up space. Not too much, but just enough that they're finding themselves here in this P2 corner.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I feel like it's especially surprising because one of the things that makes no, I think you're alive. The future of Street Fighter, I mean...
Alright, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, you're right. He's still alive.
Right, but the value of damage you see is, with inflation how it is, he's bringing Street Fighter 6 damage to the table, so, you know, it's not going to translate quite as well when you bring it back. He does close out the round and the game, though, and what I was going to say is, you know, you called out his willingness to surrender space, and I think the thing about Luke is Luke claims space so well. All of his punch limbs, he sort of lunges forward. So he's so effective at actively controlling the space and claiming space in front of him. And it seems like Joe Umerogan is much more willing to play this, you know, more defensive Shoto style, which I don't necessarily like as much out of Luke. Although I guess if you've got the confirms on your low forward, then, you know, go crazy. The problem is, one, we've not seen it, and two, Daywalker's got those confirms on the low forward.
Reach for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of different Lukes come through, and honestly, they can get quite far without really, you know, needing the confirms, right? The super heavy duty ones. Like, they can do stuff like this, and as long as they play the neutral solid enough, then they're in a good spot. Look at this. That's enough. Oh, I didn't think that was enough. I thought he was gonna be 1 pixel away.
Yeah, I kind of expected it, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, it's V-trigger. You're cashing out like a resource for it. It doesn't feel like you would be, but especially on Luke, where, you know, his can be, you know, his is only semi-limited compared to the rest of the cast, right? Yeah. And now Joe Umerogan is doing a much better job of finding these knuckle cancels, even finding the opportunities to activate the V skill and get the empowerment on it, which is where a lot of this damage is coming from. You can see that he seems much more comfortable playing his footsie game when he has that V skill stored.
Oh, I thought it was going to be enough to cash out, but just blocked for a little bit longer and was able to end it with the target combo again. So that's going to be a 2-0 in favor of Joe Umerogan there over Integra.
Compared to what I usually had it at. So I know that it grows back. The problem is every time I shave it or take it low, it's like, there's less there than I thought. You know what I wish there was less of? This cursed ass Robo Juri costume.
You don't like this one?
Giyu is back on it.
I'm shocked. I don't think this is, you know, one of the worser ones.
There's some Ghost in the Hatsune Miku on the screen right now.
That's true.
Dapvip on the Cammy.
Yeah, this is a matchup we've actually seen fairly recently, like last week or the week before. And it's going to be a lot of this. A lot of medium kick, back and forth, trying to get the confirms in. Just seeing whoever has the stronger neutral, right? We're still in Street Fighter 5. We still play neutral here.
Are you implying that Street Fighter 6 is not going to have neutral?
No, I would never say that.
I mean, but you would allude to it.
Right, there are a lot of fighting games I could have been throwing shade at. It doesn't have to be Street Fighter 6.
Sure thing. I mean, it is no neutral November, but I don't think the players got the memo. Oh, nice whiff punish on the low strong, but we don't have the buffer in the back. Giyu is disadvantageous on screen position, but has the life lead. And I think part of the thing here is, oh wow, it's V-trigger too. I didn't notice.
I'm just now seeing that as well. I saw the confirmation, but there it is. Spending the cash, getting in, gets the counter as well. Oh no, can you end it?
Oh, goodbye.
Yeah, you're actually dead. CA to close it out.
I'm not sure if V-trigger activation scaling is insane, but it doesn't matter because it's a full CA against Cammy. First round on the board for Giyu. He even got to steal a little bit of that meter by way of that V-trigger 2 out of Giyu, who does always play that V-trigger 2.
Yeah, loves those standing resets that they can really take advantage of. It scales the combo like all hell, but it looks cool. That's for sure. But let's see what they can do down in this corner.
Oh my god.
Locked in.
Absolutely let it rock. The grandest of equalizers. In fact, Giyu still had a slight life lead. We got the hit on the Oki after, but wow, Dapvip actually leaving so much on the table. They tried for seconds and whiffed it. Shimmy does not work out there. Okay. Forward throw from Giyu, who finds another one. Wow, but her, like, between her walk speed, her throw range, and her standing medium kick, Juri is just in such a strong place.
Juri's
And one of the things I was going to say is, you know, in this matchup, you were talking about, oh, there's going to be so much medium kick. I think the thing here is Juri's standing medium kick is better than Cammy's. Cammy's going to want to prioritize low forward so that she can get stuff off of it. Whereas, you know, you on the Juri can kind of use that standing medium kick and be effective at a little bit farther out and still get stuff off of it, as well as that standing short being such a fantastic counter poking tool to blow up low forwards if they're fishing at the right range.
Oh, they're finally gonna get the activation here. Do we get a side swap coming through? Goes for the jump over and actually gets the hit. Oh, this is gonna be dangerous. I thought they set up a projectile, but I think they were just charging up the V skill too. But that's a couple charges. Gonna get thrown for the corner. Still alive.
Yeah, but I mean, this is such a great spot to be in. We get a free store out of the knockdown, and we're so content to be back to neutral. Look at that standing short, exactly like I was talking about. It's such a difficult tool for Cammy to try to contend with in this matchup, especially with how effectively Giyu is using standing medium kick to sort of force Dapvip to try to play out at these farther ranges. The range Dapvip is forced to play at is exactly the spot where standing short is an incredibly effective counter poke.
I'm very excited to see Giyu in Street Fighter 6 with the way Juri is in that game. I'm very excited. That's crazy that that punishes that way. Jab checks the hooligan too? Giyu's ready. Giyu is on point. They're warm. They're ready to play. They're getting everything to go their way. And let's see if they can close it out with another activation.
Oh my god.
So grimy.
Walk under the dive kick and then trip guard with standing strong counter hit confirm. Holy crap, Giyu. Tell me how you're really feeling. Dapvip at this point, I have every expectation we're going to be fishing for, like, crouch, you know, some sort of big hit confirm into CA or V-trigger. We're not going to get it, though. Say goodbye to your bar. That's that V-trigger activation. Even cashing out an extra EX bar just to keep him glued in the pocket a little longer. Counter hit confirm. Goodbye. This round is over.
Dapvip was just too far behind at every stage, unfortunately for them. Giyu, hey, wink, wink, we're busy. We got stuff going on. Chat, Casa Bunch is on fire in the background. We have so much coming at you, which you'll hear about probably later tonight. Let's check out Pokey versus Sigma Male. It is the Luke, like you called it, Brad. And Pokey has a ton of experience in this matchup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Luke is one of those characters at this point, right, where everyone has played against them. If you're one of the people that is, you know, still rocking Luke, you have to expect that people know how to deal with your character. The exact opposite situation here for Pokey. Falke, one of the, up until maybe this season, more underrepresented characters. He got some really nice quality of life changes in this season. Still on the back foot here. I mean, the thing is, you're still a zoner against, you know, an aggressive flavored Shoto. So it's going to be hard for you to deal with it when they get into range 0. But getting that jump out of the corner, huge.
I will
no
say
whiff
that,
punish on the whiffed towards strong.
I was going to say that Sigma Male definitely showed a little bit of knowledge check there by jumping that first portion of that air fireball and being able to punish the EX version right afterwards. Right? You have to know that they're going to be skyborn for that long enough of a time to actually get that air to go off.
Round 2.
Right, the first round is on the board for JustPokey. Let's see if Sigma Male is going to be able to make anything happen. Okay, finding a connect on the low forward, starting to press the issue, but I mean, this is exactly the same that we saw in that previous round. If Pokey gets out of this corner, it could prove to be difficult here for Sigma Male, and exactly the same thing, finding a counter poke right into a new hope.
Gonna take back to the corner though. Big damage coming out. We still got trigger. A little bit left for Pokey. Great block on the DP.
Oh. An empty jump, no less. I believe that that's part of why that ended up working. V shift back. We do find the punish with the V break.
Not enough though. Being able to get the grab mid-screen like that. Sigma Male gonna take a round for themselves as well. Taking it up to 1 apiece so far. But yeah, I mean, both sides adjusting nicely, I should say. Oh, didn't quite get the air-to-air that time, but still gets the full trip guard punish on those landing frames. That time we're ready for the anti-air with the EXCP coming through. And look at that pressure we're applying all the way back into the P2 corner. That would hit from really far away.
It did. I mean, what's happening is Sigma Male is getting a little bit more comfortable, and the spacing trap game is starting to really work out much more effectively for them than it did in that first round. And you can see, I mean, Pokey hasn't really represented reversal, but is counter poking a lot. And I alluded to it earlier in Umerogan's match, but, you know, Luke is a character that really does a great job of claiming the horizontal space in front of him. So if Pokey is in a spot where it's like, all right, I'm going to counter poke, if Sigma Male is comfortable about the spot they're at and knows the button to use, that space isn't actually yours.
No, you got to fight for it every step of the way, because Luke is going to take your head at any given moment. Just like that. P2 corner. We're big friends here. Well acquainted.
Finally. Busting out the reversal. Sends out the bubblegum in a dish. How much buzz has do you wish? Finding the low starter. And Pokey has a real comfortable life lead right now.
Yeah, this could be tough to come back from, especially with no trigger left, no CA on the table. That's actually going to be enough to close it out. I'm actually a little surprised.
So, Falke can have a misleading amount of damage, especially, I mean, some of the stuff that I have seen Falke able to pull out with V-Trigger 2, sometimes you see these absolutely crazy sequences. Okay, counter poke on the sweep here, but I love that reversal there, trying to, ooh! Pokey found exactly the right spots in this round to be like, yeah, you want to get back in the driver's seat. You can't. V-shift, I kind of wish we had tried to see an anti-air there, but it's fine. The low forward connects, and a game on the board for Pokey.
Yeah, I too think we would have preferred to see a DP there maybe, or even just like a normal button anti-air. But I mean, the V-shift's not bad, right? Like if you are successful there, then you get half of the trigger back or half of the bar back. And if you're unsuccessful, you just are closer to mid-screen, I guess. So it's not really one of those hard win or lose situations. It's just like, do you win or do you go back to more neutral? There's that DP.
Yeah, it feels like Sigma Male is in this spot now where it's like, well, I jumped to beat the low shot, and like that's sort of where it feels like their head is at in terms of how they're navigating on the screen, and that's exactly what Pokey wants, because it's like, yeah, Pokey is representing low shot in order to beat Sandblast, and now Sigma Male is going to the air instead of playing the fireball game, and is just getting smoked out for it. There was a winning ground strategy out of Sigma Male, and Pokey managed to slow it down just enough to start laying the bait for Sigma Male to lose out on.
I thought the bubblegum was going to pop and we were going to get a juggle, but didn't need it. Pokey able to close it out just a little bit later.
All right, this is set point for Pokey.
Oh, wow. Actually going to be able to jab check that low shot. That's kind of sick. Gets a crush counter on the V-shift as well. Oh, no, how are you going to let Pokey out of the corner again?
That's fine. We cash out our bar. We're trying to create some whiff punish opportunities on the stand fierce, but it's out of the corner again. There is not going to be another low shot in Pokey's future. No confirm off the low forward. That is a real shame. I think Sigma Male needed that. Activation meets V-reversal coming out of Pokey. Doesn't want to end up on the back foot at all.
You're even actually going to trade fireballs at that moment. Oh, that's a big hit there. Gets the target combo as well. Are they going to be able to close it out? That counter hit's huge.
This is big, though. Pokey can make this happen, but is a little bit late on trying to check the dash. We're going to the final round. You could see Pokey was starting to try to plant the seed of those low shots again, but Sigma Male was playing that grounded game that I had just highlighted that was working so well in game 1.
The jab checks that have been coming out from Sigma Male have been super strong. I've been very impressed with them because they're always perfectly timed, it seems like. And they interrupt some of the weirdest things, like a low shot or even just like, you know, checking the air of normals. But that time, V-shift, that's a tough thing to see.
right? The reversal out of Sigma Male because they don't want to be on the back foot, punishing the V-skill store attempt, but getting out of the corner. V-shift on V-shift. Oh, V-break. That gray life actually
oh no,
not insignificant. No, why you tacking? Shimmy connects.
yeah, that time the throw works as well. Goes for the knee frames, but here comes the EX button as well. Oh, you're dead.
These counter pokes out of Pokey again. Goodbye. A New Hope.
Oh, you're not dead. Just
One more
dead.
touch. No punish on the V-shift. They have all been unanswered. Oh my god. There was no punish. I don't even remember what the frame advantage of that is, but I wish Pokey had taken a turn. Caught by the Flash Knuckle. Life is about even. One touch will do it for either one of them. V-reversal comes out from Sigma Male because they don't want to do with a New Hope. They preferred Empire.
I was gonna say, where's the EX Sandblast? But it came out already. You just gotta wait this clock down, Pokey. You're playing the zoner. You know this game. Don't let him inch closer. He's gonna grab you. He's actually gonna grab you and punch you in your face.
I'm worried about dash forward grab, but Pokey is still doing a really good job of playing this effectively. 15 seconds off the clock.
Goes under.
Pokey has stalled. Finally, the low shot. Oh my god, the Sandblast was like by a hair. That was like wanted curving the bullet type shit in order for Pokey.
That I wasn't ready for.
Interesting. See,
They played it once like a month and a half ago that I remember.
Round 1.
like, Fluxwave's Menat is a character pick that only comes out in very specific circumstances. And I wonder if this is like, is this player matchup stuff of, you know, I understand that Umerogan is willing to back up. He's going to play a really slow game on a fireball character. So I'm going to be content to... Jesus Christ, that's a clean 50% just off of an errant hit.
Oh
we have to
my-
dive kick out. We do find the anti-air crush counter here for Fluxwaves, who is starting to push Umerogan back into the corner again.
The crush counter almost sent him to the moon. Holy crap. Oh, great jump over the V-trigger. Fireballs as well. Gets the activation, but this hasn't necessarily been Flux's strong suit. They actually have the combo, though. They
Wow.
spend it all. They were not kidding that they wanted to end that round.
You don't want to be on the back foot against the Luke, right? Like, don't give him the chance to breathe. I mean, if you kill them, they can't win the round. It's like,
true.
You could take the chance, but you know, why do it, especially against a character this strong? With it being this slow, you can see that Umerogan is getting these opportunities to try to cash out the V skill, and that is the fruit of his labor, getting that extra knockdown, an extra little bit of damage, finding the low forward confirm here. Next hit is going to be stunned.
Great crush counter, slide out of the corner. That was odd, kind of phasing through the body there, but takes the corner back, gets the hit. Why are you reaching? That crouch jab, not gonna be enough. Again, that's just such a weird interaction to see. It looks like the air normal hits in the front, and then all of a sudden Umerogan is behind you, continuing to press buttons.
Nice whiff punish, but we're a little bit far away for the orb to try to connect after. I think that's one of the things is, you know, Menat, you really want to have a lot of control over where the orb is placed, and you can kind of see that Fluxwaves is ending up, and that's not going to connect because the uppercut anti-air was a little bit too high, burning out all the resources. There's a little bit of spaghetti on the ground from both sides here. Fluxwaves not able to place the orb in the ways that he wanted, and Umerogan spending resources in the wrong context. Dashes go unchecked, trigger activated. No anti-air behind it.
Yeah, that's kind of risky. Gets the anti-air that time, but nothing after it. Gets the drill, but doesn't have the combo.
No combo.
Hate to see it. I think we see a character swap after this.
I mean, unless Fluxwaves is going to win, which, the damage off of that,
I don't think it's that
honestly
high.
unclear. You're alive.
Yeah, Menat
Yeah.
really doesn't do that much damage with the CA. That's why we see it so often at the end of the long V-trigger combo. But if you're going to jump at Menat, you're just giving your life away.
Menat
Yeah,
wins.
I mean, we haven't really missed any of those anti-airs there on the side of Fluxwaves. I don't know that I expect a character change out of Umerogan. Shout outs to Brian F for the raid. For the 429. Good to see everybody. Umerogan versus Fluxwaves. 1 game up for Fluxwaves on the surprise Menat pick into Joe's Luke.
What's up, everybody, from Brian's stream? We do have a match arena going on. You can go ahead, click the links, use the coupon codes. There's still a couple left. It is not the only way to support the match arena tonight, though. Be sure to use the coupon codes, the sponsor quests, And we are also, for every Twitch sub, we're giving $1 to a Matcherino of your choice, whether it's a Twitch Prime, a regular sub. Everything goes towards the Matcherino when you do it that way. You get the $1 towards the pot, and that is for every Twitch sub. Oh, actually goes high. Is that a read, Brad? Were they trying to catch something?
I don't know. Like, that's a context where you commonly used to see Menats going for resets. I think, you know, you can just see that the Menat is not super practiced out of Fluxwavez right now. We're seeing a lot of these, you know, situations. She was an execution-heavy character comparatively, especially inside of Trigger, but you're going to be totally fine if Umerogan is going to be busting out with these reversals in the wrong spots, and we are on set point for Fluxwavez to try to move on to the winner side of top 8.
Yeah, this would be our first top 8 winner confirmation. Everybody else still waiting in the wings a little bit, but even the unpracticed Menat is getting things done, right? And we're at the stage of Street Fighter V's lifetime where a lot of players are actually changing who they're playing, right? Like we've seen SpaceBoy, who's, you know, always been playing different characters, but you know, even lots of other players are swapping out, you know, for these online tournaments.
Yeah, nice standing short check coming out of Fluxwavez. Trigger activation comes up from Umerogan, who has this dominant corner position, but Fluxwavez has all of the resources in order to try to make this happen. Trigger activation, we want to get in. Any one of these mix-ups could do it. Are we going to be able to finish our plate? Yes, we are. Fluxwavez is going to take the set 2-0 with the sleeper Menat pick, waking up from its long slumber in order to carry Fluxwavez up into the winner side of top 8. Gonna be principal. JustAKid's costume selection is favorable, so I'm gonna be pulling for them very non-biasedly. I have been a hater of the mecha costume for a while. It's perfectly fine. I just don't, you know, it's not the worst costume in the game, but I have to hate it. I hated it the first time I saw it. I'm gonna let that linger. Okay, JustAKid clipping with the overhead in the neutral. Wow, standing medium kick trades.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup, right? Because we talked about the Giyu Dapvip matchup being very neutral heavy, very, you know, whip punishy, and now they're playing the same exact character. They have the same exact win conditions.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny, right? People either like really hate or really love mirror matches. I think a lot of it can depend on the character. Sometimes a character can just not be equipped with any of the tools to handle what they themselves do. But I think in this context, right, like, you know, they both have that good walk speed. They both have the standing medium kick. If one of them backs off to play for stores, the other can get the stores as well. Here's an important difference. Exact opposite V-skill loadouts. Giyu representing that V-Trigger 2 that we see coming out of them so commonly. V-Trigger 1 still on the table from JustAKid, who does get smoked out after the regular throw into the standing medium punch. First round on the board for Giyu.
Yeah, good stuff coming through. Really taking advantage of that V-Trigger 2 as well. Keeping JustAKid super duper close, keeping that meter low while taking all of it for themselves. And look at that conversion. Nice anti-air into some juggles. Blocks the EX flip kick and still gonna win out in these trades.
Yeah, it's not even just the trades, right? It's, you know, the shimmy game coming as a result of that. 2 or 3 standing strongs in a row, so JustAKid goes to try to walk back and then gets clipped by the low forward. It's just, you know, one of the things that you really see commonly out of characters, particularly characters that have effective low forwards.
Yo!
Oh, anti-air causes the juggle. Giyu takes the first game.
Juri wins.
The anti-airs coming out from Giyu have been so crucial. Like, every single one of them felt like it crushed. They were then able to get a juggle afterwards to keep the combos going. And then they were able to close out at that point.
Fight.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see. I mean, JustAKid, both of these, you know, JustAKid, obviously a hot commodity this year, has had a lot of, you know, pretty high profile tournament results, even, you know, being a big part of the Midwest West Coast exhibition. But
a huge part.
You know, Giyu has also had, I mean, we talked about it earlier when we saw Giyu play earlier, has been performing really well in a lot of these online practice recently. And, you know, as we talked about with where they're situated in the country, they sort of jump between coasts a bit. So they get to play against really all of the different communities that are really still competing heavy in Street Fighter 5. And doing so incredibly effectively, as evidenced here. Giyu closing out another round. Are we going to see them sweep through JustAKid right now?
It's looking mighty close. They got one more round needed. And then they'll be able to claim a 2-0 victory over JustAKid's Juri to secure themselves a top 8 winner's side position. Gonna block that EX. Didn't quite have the punish ready, but they're still in a good shape. They'll have CA next time they get a combo off. They actually choose to spend it.
Oh, okay, we're busting out. You can see that, you know, neither one of them really wants to let the other stay in the driver's seat and start to run their offense for too much longer right now.
Oh,
Activation comes out of JustAKid, who is going to be able to finish his plate and get a round on the board.
Final round.
Yeah, looks like it just took JustAKid a couple of seconds to get reacquainted with the online world. Finally gets the read on the Giyu, and do they have a read or what? Finally gets everything they could want.
Ooh!
Gets the punish on the fireball.
Oh, even every single one of these shimmies is working out. You talked about the read. The read is there, has plugged into the USB port in the back of that whack-ass robot costume in the back, has downloaded the algorithm. It's like, machine's gonna learn today.
Such a hater, Brad.
I don't know what to tell you. It's, you know, it's the color scheme. That's really what does it.
Oh,
I see it. I think Hatsune Miku. I think Hatsune Miku, the fighting game character, and I'm just like, I don't need that anymore.
All right, I'm gonna keep that color comment in mind for a little bit later. But here we go. Game 3 between JustAKid and Giyu. The two Juri players here tonight, and they're gaming. That's what they're doing right now. They are playing Street Fighter V.
Like I had said, right, you know, either one of them goes and gets a store in neutral, the other can immediately kind of cash out and make it happen, making those stores a little bit on the back foot right now is Giyu in terms of position, but has all of these stores available to him. But JustAKid is just playing such an effective ground game. Had to respect that fireball a little bit too much, and low forward comes out from Giyu.
Yep, these medium kicks, gets the crush counter.
Ooh.
Didn't quite have enough to close it out. Goes for the grab.
Oh.
Great jump
Oh,
back.
so smart. That was so great because you obviously know one of the big activation routes there. It's going to be EX heal drop into V-trigger activation. So it's like, yeah, I know what you're going to be playing for. I know exactly how to be it. I also play this character clipped by the lows. JustAKid. He's not going to have the damage here. He's going to need, depending on the hit, this is 2 more hits. So Giyu cashes out the 1 bar. Double dash. We see some Mario Kart.
Yeah, but we might get.
Do you have any games on that? Do you have any games on that Juri iPad?
Maybe, but we might get a CA. Oh no, it's actually stolen away. The trigger doing a good job keeping Giyu a little bit safe for that. Gets the activation though. Isn't ready for the after button.
Hashed out
Air to
so
air.
much there just to keep. You can make this happen in, I think, 1 touch, depending on the touch. Okay, certainly now, depending. Sitting medium kick, nothing really comes behind it. We had the V-skill store in the back to JustAKid, who is still on
the
set
trade!
point in order to make this happen. What a trade! No! Oh my god!
The trade came through. They thought Giyu thought they had the juggle. They thought they had time to rip the EXDP, but it wasn't meant to be. The gravity was too strong, and they just got punished for whiffing.
It says he went Cammy and then he went G. Cammy, I think that would have been my assumption for what he would have started with in that matchup. I'm not totally sure that G into Metro M's Claw would be the pick that I would make, but I mean, the thing about like, all of these players know far better than I. SpaceBoy pulling out the Sakura into Metro M's Claw probably wants to be able to represent, maybe it's not just the Fireball, because I was going to say it's not like Luke doesn't have one, but I'm not going to front. I love seeing SpaceBoy back on the Sakura and such a dominant start already.
Oh my god, that throw broke everything off of this man. Lost his face, lost his hand, but trying to fight back, has the V-trigger, but I don't know. How do you come back when it's literally a pixel? And the answer is you don't. But you're right. Sakura coming out here for SpaceBoy. We saw it last week, I believe, actually in this matchup as well. But I don't know what could tell you picking one over the other.
Yeah, I think if Claw ends up on the back foot in this matchup, it's just going to be a really difficult spot for them to be in. Claw is one of those, I say it all the time, it's a transactional matchup. Your job is to ensure that they have to pay more in life in order to get in and start to play their game. than they get out of you once they do. And if you end up on the back foot super early, you're just going to be in a really rough spot. This round definitely going a little bit better for Metro, who is being a little bit more active on the ground. More active in the poke game, even, you know, aggressively taking some space a little bit more. Trigger activation, the chase down on the V-shift.
Yeah, that crush counter's massive stuns now. Problem chases him
Another
down
one?
again! Even spends a little bit of cash, but still, I think should have more than enough to close it out.
SpaceBoy's internet coming from the space itself. That's the only way that he could have known. Had the spy satellite in place. Sir, I have to report on a V-shift. That was insane. After there's been so many matches tonight where V-shift has not been getting checked, for SpaceBoy to completely dominate that round off of 2 V-shift reads.
Yeah, Metro M definitely reporting a problem from Houston. And let's see if they can get that patched up for them, because that was kind of fast. That was really sick from SpaceBoy from start to finish. That first round was just crazy fast, and then getting both of those reads correct that time, he wasn't ready. He got misinformation.
Right, starting to play a little bit more of a fireball game. Okay, even representing the anti-air fireball with the read that an off-the-wall might have been coming out of Metro M, maybe expecting that the off-the-wall was going to try to side switch. Trigger activation comes out. View reversal this time for Metro M, who's trying to push us back to mid-screen, and in fact succeeds at doing so. But SpaceBoy still has Trigger in the back, is already activated.
Yeah, just needs a little bit more damage to come through here for Metro. That actually hit! That's not enough to close it out, though. Didn't have any more meter left in the tank. Still needs one more touch.
And with fishing with the shimmy, no bite. Fireball comes out from SpaceBoy. This is still, I mean, it's not impossible. It's hard, obviously. Metro can make any poke and have this happen. SpaceBoy has no life to play with. But Sakura can try to make this stuff happen. Oh my god. That was that a trade on like the active lingering hurt box of like standing strong?
I don't know what the
That
trade
was weird.
It was a wonky trade, but Metro definitely going to take those for all their worth. He just does raw roll and gets the hit for it. That's been a couple times now that it's really worked out for Metro, but cannot get a crush counter to save his life, whereas SpaceBoy seems to have them in both.
Right? Plus frames after. Wow, the amount of delay after that EX Fireball into every button. Weighted extra frames. Standing medium kick. Weighted extra frames. Crush counter. SpaceBoy on set point to move on to the winner side of top 8 and looking dominant back on the Sakura.
Looking insanely strong right now. So, Metro really has to come through here. They'll have CA in a second. And they're definitely willing to cash it out, but they're also going to try and hold on to it, I would say. But,
oh my god, SpaceBoy!
SpaceBoy's just on it tonight. And then the throw. I don't think you can kill here. I could be wrong, though.
Off of just throw with 2 bars? Yeah, I think you're dead. EXTB?
Yeah, alright. Last hit or so. But, oh, crazy stuff coming through there. What's up, Shine? Glad you tuned in just to see the end of that match.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it like any of these counter pokes that Itachi's Legacy is throwing out. Wow, the patience to wait for the kite, but still comes down with a button, does Itachi's Legacy. Are we gonna stay same side? Yes, we are. We're gonna go for the throw on the reset. A second throw? That was gonna be 3.
Yes, yes. You always go for 3.